Welcome to TIAA Simplified with Greg Shepard from SNA Financial Services. In this podcast, we help higher ed professionals overcome the confusion and frustration around managing their TIAA retirement accounts. We do this by breaking down complex rules, hidden risks, and smart strategies into clear, actionable insights. Join us for this journey where we explore how to retire smarter by truly understanding your TIAA plan, as Greg draws from years of experience and guest experts who will help you take control of your financial future with confidence. Now, on to the show.
Your TIA investments can work hard for you and your retirement plans, but with some key knowledge, you may be able to boost that performance. Greg Shepard is sharing insights and strategies in his podcast series, TIA Simplified. Greg, this episode you tackle annuitization, a word I'm sure many people have heard, may not have ever pronounced, and they may not understand it. So what is it, please?
Yeah, Patrice, first of all, how you doing?
Doing well. How about you?
Doing well, as well. Good to see and hear from you. Again, doing well as well.
Excellent.
Annuitization. So I tell you what, I've been doing this for 24, 25 years. The word annuitization may have a negative connotation to it if you were to just Google the actual word annuitization, annuities in general. But I'll be the first to tell you now, remember, I'll remind everybody out there, I don't work for TIA, never have, never will. Not anything bad about TIA, a great company, but I don't have a dog in the fight, right? So when I say this, I'm coming from an independent third party opinion, if you will. Annuitization with TIA, in my world, coming from, the 403B side, is, I would say, a good thing if you know what you're doing. A lot of folks don't understand how to utilize the annuitization feature within TIA. Now, we're going to dive more into this, but you have two forms of annuitizations. Well, two ways to annuitize your assets on the 403B, 401A platform. You got variable and you got fixed. And we're going to get right to the point here on the variable. Just in my opinion, don't do it. Okay, that's the end of that conversation. You can accomplish what you're trying to accomplish with that variable annuity outside of TIA and any insurance company for that matter. Lower your cost and get better access, better investments, have access to better investments outside of that insurance company. Now, when it comes to the fixed annuity, I think TIAA, in my opinion, does better than, to my knowledge, anybody else out there. So it can form a piece of your income if done properly.
All right, two pieces there, a piece and properly.
Yeah, so again, I'll go back and reference that TIA does two things, and I think I'd say two things better than anybody else. They do TIA traditional better than anybody else. If you utilize it properly, if you utilize it correctly, most people do not. They do lifetime income well, better than anybody else in my opinion. Again, if utilized properly, there's many ways, different ways you can utilize that fixed lifetime income annuity option. I think we're going to dive into some of these topics or issues here as we go forward, but I'll elaborate a little bit more on that as we go forward here in this episode.
All right, so you've talked about basically, still I'm not sure you're quite cleared up what annuitization is.
Oh, just a fixed set of income, fixed set of monies coming to you on a monthly basis. That's literally as simple as I could put it. So you have $200,000, and for the purposes of TIAA, the 403Bs and the 401As. So you have $200,000 sitting in TIAA traditional. You can, and TIA will love it if you do, flip those monies into lifetime income, which is synonymous with annuitization. TIA, in turn, will pay you a fixed amount per month for the rest of your life, or however you dictate TIA pays you. Maybe somebody else the rest of their life as well as a joint survivor benefit, okay? So we can expand on some of those options, but annuitization is very simple in the sense that it's just a fixed amount of monies sent to you on a monthly basis from the money that you've converted into or given TIA, okay? In this case, that $200,000.
Well, something for the rest of my life from TIA Traditional sounds pretty good.
Could, if you know what you're doing. See, I get that a lot. But you have to, peel back all those onion layers and always ask yourself how are they doing this? Why? What's in it for them? What's in it for me? And I'm more than happy to get into all the nuances associated with that lifetime income. As again, I think we're going to touch upon some of those topics here in this episode.
All right. Well, then let's move on just a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the questions that we kind of talked about earlier was, well, off camera. How do you blend annuitized income with more flexible income sources?
Yeah. So this is kind of the end goal with a lot of my clients that onboard. I always tell folks, I'll start off by saying that, again, TIAA does two things well, TIAA traditional and lifetime income. If lifetime income fits in your financial picture, we're going to initiate that for you. On top of that, we're also going to initiate an income stream. For most cases, it's going to be a rollover IRA. There could be some after-tax monies involved, but for the sake of this conversation, we're going to roll over the assets we don't initiate for lifetime income over at TIAA. Okay, we're going to roll over those assets, in my case, over at Charles Schwab. We're going to invest in income-producing investments that produce enough interest for you to live off of or on. The interest being driven from that rollover IRA, the lifetime income in the form of that annuity, and of course, Social Security at some point as well. So if we can accomplish those three sources of income without touching principal on that rollover IRA, man, I tell you what, we have accomplished, or you have accomplished, that retirement income phase of your life, okay? So it gets a little more nuanced than that, but I really like that flexibility of that rollover IRA because you can tap into that anytime you want. With that lifetime income, of course, is fixed. That money's gone. It's TIAA's money in that case, okay? So I like to have that flexible income source in association with that lifetime income.
And the principal is protected.
On the rollover IRA or the lifetime income?
The rollover IRA.
The rollover IRA is invested. So it's invested in bond. Again, for the sake of this conversation, we're looking at ETFs and mutual funds that produce income. So the principal is protected only to the point as the underlying investment does. And that's more of a product conversation, but it will go up and down, that investment that produces that income. But over the course of time, again, this isn't really a product conversation. Over the course of time, these investments tend to go up over the course of time.
Okay. All right. You mentioned taxes. What's the implication here?
Yeah, you can't get away from them.
No.
That's pretty simple. Enough said. IRS wants their money. So I get this question quite often. You're going to pay ordinary income taxes. Now, with a caveat, okay? Any money that comes to you from TIAA. Now, post-tax monies are different. Those Roth monies, I'm not getting into that right now. Those are going to come to you tax-free. But from the lifetime income annuity, that annuitization process, that's ordinary income. So you're going to pay, even the income coming from that rollover IRA, it's ordinary income. You're going to pay Fed and state taxes. Caveat being, a lot of folks don't know about this. There's a number, oh gosh, how many? 6, 7, someone can fact check me on this. 6 or 7, 8, a handful of states out there where when you initiate any form of income coming from TIAA, if that's the approved vendor from the higher ed institution, you do not pay state income taxes on that money. I know.
Really?
Yeah. So I know New York, which is a high state income tax. I know the Kansas Board of Regents. I live here in Kansas City. So there's a few different institutions that make up the Kansas Board of Regents, like the University of Kansas and Kansas State University are going to be the biggest. So any form of payment coming from TIAA for those folks do not pay state income taxes. So there's been a situation where folks have come to me watching my YouTube and listening to my other podcast episodes that want to implement some of the strategies I've talked about, right? But then I find out they're, in New York or down the street, right? University of Kansas. Like, whoa, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Buried in some of those videos, I do mention it, but a lot of folks don't realize when you take money from TIAA for an employee of, University of Kansas in this example, you're not paying state income taxes on that. So let's devise a game plan that might be a little more advantageous from a tax perspective, given the state that you live in.
So there's no one size fits all by any stretch here.
No, that's what makes this fun and challenging. Patrice, I can't emphasize this enough. These strategies I talk about in these episodes in my YouTube, I try to emphasize enough that I emphasize that it's not a one size fits all, because it literally, I'll have 3 folks coming to me with the same kind of accounts, same age bracket, but we'll do 3 different strategies given what they want to do, what state they live in. There is not one size fits all, not at all.
Well, speaking of what they want to do, what about an estate plan?
Yeah. So estate planning. Again, I get this question quite often. My opinion and how I tackle this is, don't use lifetime income, the annuitization part of TIAA, for any sort of estate planning. Meaning that if you're married, you can tack on your spouse as a joint survivor benefit. Okay, that's great. That means both of you are going to get paid. If you do 100% joint survivor benefit, your spouse is going to get paid for you and your spouse's remaining years. When you start trying to tack on children or any person or entity beyond you and your spouse, it's not as advantageous as maybe you think. The way to leave money to those folks, those entities, are outside monies, like in this case, again, for the sake of this conversation, rollover IRAs, put in a trust, or have the children as, beating hearts, as we call it, as beneficiaries of those accounts, and have them inherit those monies. I tell you what, literally before this episode here, before recording, I got a random phone call from somebody. I don't even know where they were, but they found my YouTube, and they're running into all kinds of issues that can be solved. Father had a lifetime income annuity option, passed away in March. She is one of 3 beneficiaries. I'm trying to remember this all correctly. He hadn't taken RMDs. Now, because she was turned around a lot, because you don't take RMDs from lifetime income, but he had a lifetime income already in process, and she was trying to figure out how she gets that money beyond his death. Now, I'm going to I'm going to circle back around with her, but I might be the bearer of bad news, because what a lot of folks don't realize is that I get phone calls every now and again from children where their parents pass away, that mom and dad had this lifetime income annuity option. They're trying to figure out how do I get that money? Where is it? It's gone because they didn't tack on you as a beneficiary, okay, of that lifetime income annuity option, which might be a fairly good advantageous strategy for them at the time. A lot of folks don't realize that. Not always, but sometimes. Okay.
I love it. It's always, not always, sometimes, maybe.
Yeah, it's like this phone call I got right before this recording. I get these phone calls quite often where folks don't know enough they're intelligent people, but they're saying they're all over the place and they just don't know. And they say, I called Tia, one person told me this, and then now I try to reach out to her in this case, and I get voicemail, so I try to reach out to the retail number, and I get 3 different people telling me 3 different answers, and it's inconsistent, and I don't know what to do. So it's just, you don't know what you don't know. I'll say it time and time again. If you have one person that's educated in these things that can guide you, that's obviously to your advantage. Guess what? That person might be me.
I was just going to say, we'll get you your contact info in just a minute, folks, so don't go away.
Shameless plug.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
But people want to know, they need this information to actually benefit as best they can, which leads me to the next question. So who is the ideal candidate to annuitize?
First thing that pops into my head, again, doing this for 24, 25 years. Now, someone out there can define what this means, but somebody that's not good with money. Okay. Someone that's I know you laugh, right? I get that.
I get that. It's a lot of people.
I know. And so, okay. So the last 2 times I've gone against the grain, meaning I've gone against what I always advocate, is I've had 2 people. Usually it involves somebody that has passed away. Okay. So we have a married couple typically. And one of the male or female typically pass away, and that other person's contacted me and asking about lifetime income and all that fun stuff. And usually it's the person that doesn't deal with finances, that is just not good with money, point blank. All right. So and they're emotionally more at ease knowing that $40,000 a year is going to be sent to them if they initiate lifetime income, even though it's not the most financially savvy financial savvy strategy to implement, they sleep better at night. Okay. So people that aren't very good with money, and I've had other people that just self-admittedly, I am not good with money. I'll blow it all in 10 years. And I said, well, lifetime income it is. That's what you need, because you can't blow. I mean, you can blow it all for the month, but you're going to get another paycheck in another month. Okay. So that category of people, defined by those listening out there, those are good folks that should initiate lifetime income. And others, just real quick here, I'd say another category of folks, those that have been with TIAA Traditional for certainly like 30 years. Now, what I mean by that is the longer you're with TIAA Traditional, the more what they call loyalty bonuses you get. Okay, that key word being loyalty. So those that have been with TIAA Traditional, this is my opinion, those that have been with TIAA Traditional for 0, of course, to 15 years, thereabouts, not too attractive of a loyalty bonus. At 15 to 20-ish, 20 plus years, starting to get fairly attractive. Once you start hitting that 30-year mark with TIAA Traditional, flipping that over to lifetime income equates to a pretty attractive loyalty bonus.
When do you have to decide if you're going to go the annuitization route? Is it right at the beginning, or can you do it later?
You can do whatever you want. Well, I say whenever you want. I've never had anybody push, towards the end of their life. Usually folks are initiating lifetime income at retirement, but even those that retire early, so let's say early defined as 62, 63, early 60s. I have had folks advised by me not to initiate lifetime income then, because inflation's going to eat you up. Okay. Now, TIAA does have these, and I'd be more than happy to get into it. We'll call them bonuses.
Is it like a cost of living?
Yeah, but it's not a cost of living adjustment.
Okay.
It will not keep up with inflation. Okay. You can call it a raise, a bonus. On average, again, somebody out there will fact check me on this, but I'm going to not guess. It's over experience and doing my own research. You're averaging about a 0.5% raise, let's call it, every year. Now, TIAA does not pay out that raise / bonus every year. On average, it's about every other year-ish. But when that does occur, the smooth average is about a 0.5% a year. That does not keep up with inflation.
No.
Okay, so if you annuitize at 62 for your life, inflation's just going to kill you down the road. So if we can figure out a strategy it's kind of like Social Security. If we can push that down the road and annuitize at 70 plus years old, that's going to be more advantageous from that inflation or lack thereof, inflation protection for you down the road.
So does there come a point where you can't make that choice anymore?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. I've never had anybody push it too far.
Okay.
TIAA, you think about it conceptually, I assume TIAA would love for you to initiate lifetime income when you're 80, 82 years old, because all of a sudden TIAA gets $400,000 and TIAA is going to end up paying you for 6 years. I think they would love for you to do that, but I don't know the answer to that, to be honest.
All right, just curious on my part.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, you are the person I do believe people can go to for some honest answers. How can they reach you?
Pretty simple. Website, safinancialservices.com. Email is probably the best way to reach me, and that is greg@shepardfinancial.com. That's GREG at SHEPARD financial.com.
And the podcast is TIAA Simplified.
TIAA Simplified. Emphasis on the simplified.
Absolutely. Make sure that you follow. You'll get all the episodes. You'll know when a new one is ready for you. And you know what? Share this with others, and you might get a bottle of wine as a thank you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for listening to TIAA Simplified. Click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit our website at www.safinancialservices.com or give us a call at 913-521-2381. And don't forget to click the follow button so you never miss an episode. S&A Financial Services, Inc. is a registered investment advisor. Content presented is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice or as an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Always consult with your tax advisor or attorney regarding your specific situation.